Good morning, spacers, and welcome back. It is finally the morning of the smoke. And what we're going to be doing the first thing in the morning is we're going to be preparing our first side dish. And this is going to be Junior's Apple Slaw. This is another favorite over at Gobton's. And I can't wait to share it with you. So let's get started. First, we're going to be starting off with our honey poppy dressing. I've already started off with 1 cup of mayonnaise. And as my wife says, if it's not Hellman's, it's not mayonnaise. And then 1/3 cup of honey. We've got that in our medium bowl. Next, we're going to be adding 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, 3 tablespoons of poppy seeds. We're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Next, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And last but not least, 1 teaspoon of Kinder's apple whiskey spice. We're putting that in there and we're going to be mixing this up and we're going to set that off to the side. And after we're done mixing this, and then we're going to start in with the vegetables that are going into the slaw. See you in a second. Hey, Spacers, welcome back. We are doing Junior Slaw, and I've been busy already grating all of our ingredients and getting those prepared into the bowl. I've got them separated so it looks absolutely amazing. Now, what we have is half of a medium green coleslaw, and we've got that shredded and grated right there. Half of a purple one, and then we have 5 green onions that are chopped. We have 1 small Fuji apple shredded, 1 medium-sized Granny Apple Smith apple, and then we have half of a red onion that are grated in. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm adding 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and I'm pouring that directly over the apple. And what that's going to do is that's going to help keep our apple from browning once we get this all mixed up. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix all of our ingredients up here, and then we are going to be adding our honey poppy seed dressing to it. Now, everything's mixing in real good. Doesn't that look pretty? Now, we have our honey poppy seed dressing that's been all mixed up, and we're going to be adding this in here. And I've got my spatula so we can make sure that we get all of it in. All right. So now that we've got that in there, we're going to mix everything up. Make sure that that dressing gets coated over everything. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering this, putting this in the refrigerator until we're pulling out our main dish. So you want this to be in the refrigerator for at least an hour before serving. But the longer that you keep it in there, the better the flavors are going to incorporate throughout and the better it's going to taste. So already right now, that can win a beauty pageant because it looks pretty. So we'll be seeing you back here on the smoke. Hey, Spacers, welcome back. And it is finally time to eat. It has been a long week preparing our food for this cook. And that is because this is a labor of love. You have to do a lot of things to get this dish right. We started off last week where Bridget was brining our vegetables for Lula's secret relish, and right now we have our jars of the relish that we have put away. When you are storing these, you want to make sure that you have enough of the liquid over top so that way it stores and it's going to stay good for a couple of weeks. Now, Bridget wanted me to let you all know that if you don't like the taste of vinegar, that you can use water. However, it is not going to store as long. Now, part of that process is that brining. Okay, that's going to keep those vegetables fresh and crisp so that way you have that crunchy effect when you're biting into it. Next, we started up with Junior Slaw, and we've got that there. And right about the same time is where we started working on Thaddeus's Jew, and this stuff is amazing on its own. You could eat a whole bunch of it with just bread. And then we had a total of an 8 hour smoke for Thaddeus's Gorseca. This took a lot longer than we were expecting, but you need to make sure that it is done to the time and to the proper temperature, not just because you want to get it done. So what ended up happening is last night after we took it off the smoker, we put it in the refrigerator and it stayed in the refrigerator overnight to cool down to that temperature of 40 degrees. This way we could cut it and everything would still be firm enough and it wouldn't just shred apart because it was still warm. After we did the slicing, I put it into the crock pot with the au jus and we left that there for a few hours so that way it could just soak in all that good flavor of that au jus. And now we are here at the chopping board and it is time to eat. Now, as I said before, Chicago Italian roast beef. This is something that we take very seriously. There is a TV show called The Bear that has made it 3 seasons, and it's about roast beef sandwiches. So this is something serious. And over here in the Chaosic region and at Gobton's, we only smoke the good stuff. And now, without further ado, it's time to place some au jus, the proper placement for a Chicago roast beef sandwich. Number one, I've got French bread here, and I am going to take and smother this with the jus first. Some of the meat got in there, but that's all right. Next, I'm going to take a generous portion of our meat. Look at this. It is sliced. Here's the thickness of that slice. It's thicker than that Arby's slice because Arby's roast beef, which isn't real roast beef, it's you can see through that stuff. It's like paper thin toilet paper. But this, look at that. This is absolutely fantastic. We're going to stack that on there. Next, we're going to come in with some of Lula's secret surprise relish. And we're going to put that on there. And now it is time to eat. I'm going to grab a quick little bite or sit here, dig into this. Look at that. You know it's done right if there's a mess on the plate. Mmm, mmm, mm-mm. That is the good stuff. I told you guys I was worried about this one because of the implications of how important it is to do a roast beef proper. And this is my riff on it by smoking it. You have all the flavor of that smoke. The seasoning is on point. That au jus, it's thick and savory. It doesn't just wash away. It's not like a watered down au jus. It actually sticks to the bread. The flavor profiles are coming through. It is nice. It's hot. It's got all that seasoning in there. And that taste just spreads through your mouth and it continues to grow as you eat and bite into it. Next, I'm going to dig into Junior Slaw right here. Okay. Mm. This combination really flows together. It is sweet, but it has that nice tang of that apple cider vinegar in there. The apples, everything flows. It's nice and crunchy. It's not overly watered down. You don't have an overabundance of that sauce in there. And this is really good. Together, these two rock it. Now, I can't wait to spend time at the table with you guys next. But there's a lot of people here that have been waiting a long time to eat this. And I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed presenting it for you. I'm so happy this one came out. This one's dear to my heart. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one.